Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon. So welcome to the today's session. So to all the faculty members. And before we start the session for today, so we would like to take 5 to 10 minutes of your time to discuss one important initiative that we have undertaken. And by the way, my name is Srinivas. I'm the director at XLR Solutions. So I take care of the institutional vertical, the student and college wing. Right. So So as I mentioned, that now we have started a new initiative related to the students, the placements. So as we know, the today's reality related to the placements, right? So there is significant number of students who are struggling to get placed, right? So as we know that, so the placement season already started. The month of October, November, December, still that is going on, especially for the final year students. And there is a harsh reality that the significant number of students are still looking for the jobs, right? And it is not that because so they lack the intelligence or potential or the sincerity, right? So they know the subject, they have the intelligence, they have the sincerity, but only one thing they lack is basically the practical exposure and the industry relevant skill set, and also most importantly, how to crack the job interview. So these are the most essential skill set the students lack. So that is where actually, so we have came up with one wonderful program called XLR Finishing School program. So this is designed to prepare students to crack the job interviews. The whole and sole objective of this program is to crack the job interviews and to give them the industry relevant expectations and prepare them well in 360-degree point of view, how they can crack the product-based company interviews as well as service-based company interviews. And as a faculty members, you are playing and you play a crucial role in guiding the students, in shaping students' careers. So that is the reason we want to take up this initiative with you. And so this information can be percolated to the students community, right? So let me walk you through what is this program, and I'll not take much time. So hardly 5 minutes I would like to take up. So then we'll start the regular FDP program, right? So Ujjwal, yeah, go to the next slide. So this program is basically called as Finishing School. So for the full stack development program. So this program we have designed meticulously by taking inputs from various industry experts, the people who are taking the interviews in various companies and HRs. So as part of this, so what we do, so this program is basically 4 to 6 months duration full stack development program aimed at placements. And this is completely classroom based trainings. Every day we will have 5 hours of classroom sessions will be there. Out of these 5 hours, 2 hours would be concepts, 1 hour the coding challenges practice, 1 hour would be project work, and the remaining 1 hour would be the interview preparation soft skills training. And the main emphasis of this program we have given on the practice, coding challenges, coding practice. And most of the times, so more than 50% of the time in this 4 to 6 months duration, the students are focusing on the DSA, data structure algorithms. So they would be given the challenges, coding challenges, faculty members will help them. So on the approach, problem solving skills, and the students are going to solve that. So this is the everyday activity that they are going to do. Every day they are going to practice the coding. This is the mantra of this program, right? And also we will conduct the mock interviews and interview preparation sessions every day. And we have collected a lot of previously asked interview questions from various companies and patterns from various companies. So these are part of our syllabus, and students so are going to work on these coding challenges and previous interview question papers. right? And so as we mentioned here, so this is basically completely the case study and assignment and practice based learning that the students are going to get, and daily interview preparation, quizzes and questions we are going to have as part of this. And to put it in a framework, so just to give you the information, so we will have the rigorous classroom based training, 5 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Every day students are going to spend at least 1 hour in writing or practicing the code. When they do this, practice the coding, work on the coding challenges every day for 3 months, anyone can crack the job interview. That is the mantra actually that we have designed as part of this program. And industry mentorship, so industry mentors, so like how we are conducting FDP session, right? So the people who are coming from industry are giving that session. So that way students will get a lot of insights how the applications are being built, how the applications are being put into the production. So those kind of the boot camps, industry mentorships will be there as part of the sessions, and hands-on experience with the projects and then the placement pool, placement drives. So from third month, we will show them the opportunities, we'll show them the placements. So this is the program details. That's thoroughly designed and is going to be implemented. So with the aim of placing the students. Now, the point here is, so why we are mentioning that this as part of this forum is basically, since you are the torch bearers, you are the the guiding the people for the students. So if you think that, so we can take it to your college, we can have discussion with your college management or to the students. If you think that this program would be helpful, beneficial for the students, so please fill out that Google form that we are going to roll out here. And then we will have a one-on-one discussion how we can take it forward and how we can, really helpful for the students community. Right. So this is a paid program. It's not a free. So just to make the things clear, this is a paid program, and then there's a classroom-based program from in Hyderabad and Bangalore, right? And to start with, so slowly we'll also expand this to Pune and Mumbai branches. So where our branches are, right? So please fill out this form, Google form, and so then we can have a one-on-one discussion. Then we'll come to your college and we'll have a discussion further, right? Yeah, Ujjwal, please post that Google form here. Thank you. Thank you all. So thank you. Thanks for listening. Yeah, Sushmita and Amar, over to you so we can get started.
Sure, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we'll start for the day, Prashant. So dear faculty members, that form link we are posting on the chat. So kindly fill that form as Srinivas sir info. Okay. So we'll go ahead for the next. So Prashant sir, you can take over the class. You can continue with the class.
Thank you, Sushmita. Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Hope all of you all are doing great. So, welcome back once again, everyone, to our GenAI sessions. So, today able to go back and see the topics which we were being able to discuss as part of our yesterday's discussion, right? We were able to go and understand what is ChatGPT, how it is important, what are all the different things we should be able to consider. Okay, so all of those things we are going to take it up and then we are going to understand it in a better manner. Okay, so let's go ahead where we have stopped yesterday and then we will be able to proceed further with the remaining topics. Let me share my screen quickly. Please give me a couple of minutes and then we all can be able to proceed further. So you remember yesterday we discussed about ChatGPT in a very detailed way, understood like how ChatGPT plays a very important role, and what are all the different types of outputs we have to consider, and how the things are going to work. So we were able to consider and take up all of those things. So right now, whatever we are going to learn is the remaining patterns which are being left over. Like we said right yesterday, ChatGPT can be able to go ahead and give you different types of outputs. Like one among them, yesterday we completed is a checklist where I have explained to you an industry-wide result which will look as a checklist, and then we have seen academic checklist, and then we completed the scorecard. You remember we created one small template like a scorecard for industry, and then as well as for the academics, like where you can create a scorecard and can be able to generate certain assignments or weightage for collaboration, how your students are performing, right? So you can also be able to create a scorecard. Till here is where we were able to go ahead and stop as part of our yesterday's discussion. So today, what we are going to do is we are going to cover the remaining types of outputs which you can be able to generate from the chat GPT. Okay, so today what we are going to do here is whatever the different types of outputs which are still pending. So we are going to take care of that, and we'll make sure that all of those outputs are also being generated appropriately with the help of the chat GPT. Okay, so now what is that the third type of an output which we can be able to create? So that is something which we are going to go ahead and have a look into, and we'll be able to take it further. Okay. So let me quickly go ahead and explain to all of you that how things are going to work. Let's go to our ChatGPT tool. First, I'm going to run from my end. I'm going to explain to all of you that how the things are going to work. After which, you all can also be able to go ahead and practice from your end. Okay. So first, let's quickly go ahead and make it for the JSON. Let me go here. Okay, so here yesterday we already discussed about how the chat GPT tool would basically look like. We have explored the entire chat GPT tool, understanding that how it is going to play as a very important role. So these are certain points which we were being able to discuss as part of our yesterday's discussion, and we also completed again like entirely how your scorecard, how your checklist is basically going to work. Okay, now what is going to happen in this case is like we will create a JSON like structure. So for that, what I will do, I'll say to my chat GPT, hey, provide me a JSON structure. Okay, you can say in this case, provide me a JSON structure for, let me say, I want to store what for storing the customer details. Okay, I want to go ahead and store the customer details, like including what all details I want to store, including the name, what else, name, email. Okay, and then I want to store the phone number. Okay, and then I also want to go ahead and store the phone number and then test history. Imagine a shopping mall where they will be storing the customer details like name, email, phone number, and purchase history. So you can create a JSON structure where you can be able to go ahead and store all of these details without any difficulties or concerns. Okay. So now if you go ahead and then try to run this. Okay, see what is happening. Okay, if you observe over here, right, in this case, this is your JSON structure. So in this JSON structure, you can always be able to see that the customer details are being stored, including their name, email, phone number, and purchase history. If you see, right, see, this is how your JSON will look like. Okay, JSON is a JavaScript object notation. This is how the standard looks like. See, first of all, it took a customer, a sample customer ID, okay, and then the name of the customer, the first name, the last name, and then it is closed. It is like a proper structure. Then it took some contact, some random contact, and then email, and then phone number. You can replace this with the actual details of yours. Okay. Then the purchase history. Purchase history is the particular customer has purchased from you on a particular order ID on the date, and then the items here are the wireless headphones, quantity, the price of it, and then the currency. And then there is another product ID, second product with the name, with the quantity, with the price, with the currency. Today, ChatGPT or like a generative AI is helping many of the shopping malls like DMart, Spencer's, right? So they don't need to add anything. Your generative AI will understand who you are a customer as. The moment you provide, they will ask you to give you the phone number, right? They'll ask you to give you the phone number, right? Whenever you purchase any particular groceries or any item in the respective grocery stores, they ask you the phone number. At the back end, the generative AI will take the phone number of yours. Okay, and then sometimes they will ask you, even with the phone number, whatever the name is registered, that name will be taken up, and then your contact details anyhow you are providing. Email, it's optional, it's not mandatory. Then it will automatically pick up whatever you purchased, your order ID, your date. This is how the data will be stored. Okay, the name of the product which you purchased. If you have purchased multiple product like this, there will be multiple products like this. How much you paid, what is your payment method. Next time when you again go to the same grocery store, then again another order ID will be created. When you purchased it, what are all the items you purchased, how much amount you spent again. So like this, you will see at the back end, generative AI is going and creating the content, or let me say it's able to go ahead and create by just using your phone number. It is able to go ahead and create everything for you. So you are not requiring any developer or any person sitting at the back end and creating a JSON structure for you. Automatically, the GenAI, which is using ChatGPT as a tool, is able to go ahead and create it for me. I just said provide a JSON structure for storing my customer details, that is including name, email, phone number, and purchase history. Now it is up to you what parameter you want. I may need something extra or I may need something less. That is up to you. Like how you want to align it is totally your call. And then accordingly, you can be able to take it up. So that is how you can handle your JSON structure in a much, much better manner, if I would be able to say to you. Okay, so this is the way in which you can be able to go ahead and can store whatever the information you basically wanted. Okay, so this is one. Now this is at the industry level, like where you can be able to generate the JSON automatically on your own. So now the next one I want to do is as per academics. Okay, like I would say provide a JSON structure. Okay, this is going to remain the constant because this is how your chat GPT is getting to know that I need a JSON structure. I'll say provide a JSON structure for what? For storing the student records. Okay, I want to go ahead and want to store the student records. Okay, so including name, I want to include the name, age, grade, what else? Subjects and attendance percentage. Okay. So if you see here, I'm saying I need a JSON structure for storing the student records. That is, what are all the things you want to store it over here? That is your name, age, grade, subjects, and attendance percentage. So let's go and try to enter this. So you see that here is your JSON structure. And again, you have here your student and then your student ID, then the first name of the student and the last name. And then you have your age of the student, the grade, the subjects. Okay, and then you have your subject ID, the name, again, the teacher, the marks. Okay, like this, you see there are different subject IDs, the name, teacher, and then the marks. Okay, so this is how it gives you, and then the attendance, total classes, how many happened, how much you have attended, what is the percentage of your class attendance, whatever you were been able to attend. So overall, this is how you can also be able to utilize it in the form of a JSON structure, and you will be capturing the student ID, their name, and then their age, their grade, their subjects, how much they have scored, who is the teacher, what is the subject name, what is the subject ID, and then you see finally there is a attendance been calculated on it. Okay, so basically this is how you can be able to go ahead and can create a JSON structure on your own. Okay, so this is the clarity which you should all be aware about. Okay, now let me say, like for an example, this can be able to be implemented in most of the different ways. You can be able to go ahead and handle it. I mean, I'm not saying that only in this way or only in that way you have to go ahead and use. So you say just provide a JSON structure. You just say provide a JSON structure, and then you go ahead and add whatever you want it. Okay, provide a JSON structure, and then you go ahead and mention whatever the data you want to go ahead and have a look into. Like either that is for storing your student records, name, age, grade, subjects, or you want to go ahead and implement it for any other purpose, right? Then also that is absolutely fine. So you can also be able to utilize it for something else also. Okay, so overall, what I'm trying to say to all of you here is you just go ahead and try to create a JSON structure. Now later it is up to you that for what purpose you want to create a JSON structure is ultimately your call. Where it will be able to create a JSON structure like this, and you can be able to see the output of the program in a better manner. So this is the clarity which every one of you should basically be aware about. Okay, I'm giving everybody quick 1 to 2 minutes of time. Please go ahead and create this in your ChatGPT platform. Okay, I'm giving everybody 1 to 2 minutes of time. Meanwhile, if anyone is having any question also, you can put it over the chat. Otherwise, I would request all of you to please complete this activity. I'm giving each and every one of you quick 1 to 2 minutes of time to create a JSON structure, either by taking my details, whatever I have provided it, or otherwise, you can just create your own way. Just say provide a JSON structure, and then you provide whatever the details you want it. Okay, please, everybody, quickly go ahead. I'm going to give you 1 to 2 minutes of time. Go ahead, run the query, and then see whether you are getting the relevant JSON structure in a way how I was able to show it to all of you. Just check it out, and then I'm going to take you to the next different type of output which you can be able to achieve. That is your tabular. We are done till now up to checklist, scorecard, JSON. Okay, next we will go to tabular pattern where it will be able to create the tables for us. But before we go into it, I would request every one of you to please complete of this activity within 1 to 2 minutes of time, where you can create your own JSON structure in the ChatGPT of yours. Complete exactly in 1 2 minutes. I'll get started with the tabular pattern. Hope you all have completed this activity, like where you were able to go ahead and create a JSON structure. Okay, so this is one of the important thing which we all should basically be able to consider it. Okay, so now if you see here, as you got to know about how to create a JSON structure, right? So the next one which we are going to discuss over here will be the tabular pattern. Okay, like how you can be able to go ahead and use it in a tabular way. Okay, good. The people who all have completed, great job. Good, keep it up. So now I'm going to create again a new chat. Why I need to create a new chat? If you all can remember, right? Yesterday I said you, whenever you continue with one single chat, it will always take the context as whatever you have been discussing. So I don't want JSON anymore, right? Now I will move to a different type of an output, which we call it as the tabular. I need a tabular pattern. So I'm going to target this. So I don't want to be with my existing existing output. So what I'm going to do in that scenario, I'll quickly go ahead and will create a new chat over here. So now I'm going to create a new chat. Now here, whatever the data which I'm going to get, that will be tabular data. Tabular data is more of like a comparison or analysis if you really want to do, right? You can be able to create a better table. Okay. So ideally, what can I say? I'll say here, create a, okay, I'll say in this case, create a table listing, I would say here, okay, create a table listing the different cloud service providers. Okay, so I could just say here, create a table which is listing the, different cloud service providers, and then their pricing, like how much they charge, and I will say what is their storage capacity, because cloud means it's all about storage only. Okay, what is their storage capacity, and then the key features. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. Create a table where I'm asking it to list the different cloud service providers, their pricing, storage capacity, and key features. Let's see what it is going to do for me, the chat GPT. Okay, oh, okay, it's analyzing in its own way. Let's see. Okay, this is not the output, huh? Do not get confused. See, wherever you see that it is analyzing, right, that means it is internally analyzing on its own. So, but you don't need to worry about it until the output is not yet. So you don't need to worry. See here, this is your output. See, so nicely it has created a table for me. If you observe, right, now this, if I would have asked somebody, definitely they would take some time, go to Google, explore what are the different clouds available for me. Okay, like all these things. So if you observe in this scenario, so nicely cloud service providers like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. Okay, and then pricing varies. Free tier available. Everybody is giving you the free tier. Storage capacity, like AWS has S3, which is up to 5 GB free. Azure, you have up to 5 GB free. Okay, up to all these, if you see, right, these are all up to 5 GB free. Now, key features, AWS, they use EC2, S3, Lambda. The people who are aware of cloud, maybe you will get a better understanding. Azure, C, virtual machines, blob storage, AI. Google Cloud use compute engine, cloud storage, AI/ML, Kubernetes, BigQuery. IBM Cloud uses Watson AI, blockchain, cloud, IoT, quantum computing. Oracle uses autonomous database, compute, security. Alibaba Cloud uses elastic compute, big data, AI, security, blockchain. So you see, overall, I mean, it was just quickly, not even within a second, it was able to go ahead and give us the data which is related to all your cloud service providers. And if you wish to go ahead and download this, see, view the analysis. This is how they have viewed the analysis. At the back end, it was able to run the code. It was able to get the information. If you want to view the analysis, or if you wish, you have an option here to download the table. If you want, you can download the table and can showcase it wherever you actually want it. This is how, if you observe here very clearly, there is a tabular pattern which has been created in a very clear way, if you observe it in this scenario. Okay, so this is how the table has been created. Now this is about the I asked about the different cloud service providers, which is their pricing, storage capacity, and key features, which is related more to the industry. Okay, now in the same lines, okay, in the same lines, I would say, now as we are belonging to a little bit more towards academics, right? So I will say again, create a, what I can say here, create a table. Okay, create a table listing different, what we can say, online platforms. Okay, we can say different online learning platforms. Okay, and we will see what is their pricing. Okay, so basically what exactly is their pricing, and then the subjects which they offer, and your features like quizzes and certifications. Okay, so if you can just go ahead and run this, it's again gonna go analyze, and then it will give you some idea. See, again, now analysis is going on like this. You will be able to get a different chances, and then it's going to give you all the perspective. Okay, same as like what we were being able to discuss right previously. Okay, so like this, you have different online learning platforms. Okay, pricing, what is their pricing, what are the subjects they offer, okay, with what all universities they collaborate, what features they provide. So you see that everything in the form of a table, you can expand here at the top and then can see all the related details, whatever you wanted. Okay, so this is one way in which you can be able to handle it. Okay, or otherwise, I can also be able to say like create a table for me. Okay, I'll say create a table listing uh, different financial investment options. Okay, so I don't know much about finance, so I will depend on my chat GPT and say create a table listing me different financial investment options and what is their risk involved. Okay, what is the risk level basically, and then what is the expected returns. Okay, what would be the expected returns and industry trend. Okay, and industry trend over the past 5 years, how it performed. Okay, over the past 5 years, how it has actually performed. So let's see now what it is going to do in our scenario. Now, again, I said create a table listing the different financial investment options. What is their like expected returns, the industry trend over the past 5 years, how it is performing, what are all the different things with which it is going. All these things I should be able to understand. So right now, if you see right here, let's maximize this one. See, stocks, the risk level is very high. Investment option is stocks. The risk level here is very high. Expected returns minimum is 8 to 5% annually. 8 to 15% annually. In between, any value may come up. Industry trend, if you see, it is a very strong growth is in the technology and healthcare. They are always leading. Then you come to bonds, okay, which is the risk level is low to medium. You get 3 to 6% every year. It's very stable with a very low interest rate environment. Then you have your mutual funds, which is again medium, where it will give you 6 to 12% annually with a steady growth. Okay, and then you have your real estate where you can invest with a medium, again 5 to 10% annually you get it. It's again increased demand. When there is a demand, you'll really get a good value out of it. And then you have a gold, which is also medium risk level, where you can get 5 to 8% annually. It's a steady rise. Okay, steadily it goes with the inflation. Then you have your cryptocurrency, which is also very high risk is, but it's highly volatile. That means you can get really good profit, but it always depends on the market supply and demand. Then you have your fixed deposits, which are very low in risk, 4 to 7% they ideally give, and declining interest rates. Okay, but it is still a safe option. I mean, interest rate is not that great, but yes, still it is a safer option. So this is the overall idea. What I want to let you all know, instead of going to different platforms and then trying to analyze it, create a table. Whatever you wanted, you just ask it. Okay, here there is an option for us. If you see very clearly, just say create a table. Whatever parameters you want to go ahead and call it out, you can just be able to go ahead, highlight them here with the different options, their risk level, expected returns, industry trend over the past 5 years. I mean, this is the data which I kept. You say create a table and whatever you want, whatever you have been looking for a very long time, you just go ahead and ask. Then it will go ahead and create a wonderful table for you where you can also be able to see a lot of comparison and analysis in a much better manner. So this is the clarity which each and every one of you should be able to maintain whenever we say that we are interested to create a table. Okay, so I would request every one of you to please go ahead and try to create a table on your own with your own prompt or with my own prompt, which I have created here. So either you can go with my prompt or either you can be able to go ahead and create your own. That is up to you. But one key thing you have to understand here is you have to make sure that create a table is something which you need to call out. Okay, create a table is something which you need to be able to go ahead and call it out. And then later remaining things you can be able to take it up on your own. That is up to you. Okay, so that's how you can do a tabular pattern where you can work on comparison and the analysis. So this is the clarity which I just want to make sure that you all are aware about. Again, I'm going to give you all 2 minutes of time Please complete this activity. Then I will take you all to the next type of an output which the ChatGPT can be able to provide. We are done with Tabular also. Then we will proceed with the code, how to generate the code. But until then, first complete the Tabular in 2 minutes. Then I'm going to take you all to the code, like how you can generate the type of output as a code from the ChatGPT. I hope everybody is done with this. Okay, perfect. So this is how you should all be able to go ahead and create a table where you can use it for the comparison and the analysis work. Okay, great job everyone. So now let us proceed to the fifth type of an output which your chat GPT can basically be able to help you out. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run the prompt which is with regards to creating a code. Okay, so now I will again go ahead and create a new chat here. Okay, where we will be able to go ahead and create a new chat. Now I will say what we are going to do in this scenario. Right now our scenario is where we will be responsible to generate the code. That is going to be our key role in this scenario. Okay, so let's go and generate the code in this case. So how we can be able to generate the code. So first I'm going to say here, write a Python script. Okay, so I'll say write a Python script that what we can say. Okay, we'll see that reads a CSV file, okay, where it can go ahead and read a CSV file and should be able to, and it should be able to calculate the average of numerical columns. Okay, how many columns are there in a particular Excel file? Okay, it should be able to calculate the average of how many ever columns are being present. So it's able to go ahead, create the code for us. Okay, so if you see here, the code is readily being created. Okay, So it's see, this is how you can be able to go ahead and can create a code in this case, and just within a fraction of seconds your code is being created. This is the respective Python code which is being created, and you can take this code and can be able to paste it wherever you ideally want it. Okay, that's how you can have your CSV file being created. So this is the most important point we all should basically be able to consider. Now, in this way, what can I be able to do is I can be able to go ahead and create multiple code. Okay, I will say write again a Python script. Okay, so I will say write a Python script that will read again a CSV file. Okay, that will read a CSV file, and then what it should contain, it should be able to contain the student scores and hey, just a minute, everyone. 1 minute. Okay, so basically we can write a Python script where it will read a CSV file containing all your students' code, and it should be able to calculate the average, okay, grade for each subject. So you see that it will be able to go ahead and create a code for you. See, just it's able to go ahead and create everything. Like just you have to provide your CSV file. So for an example, you CSV file means, do not get confused. Let us say you have a file which is your Excel sheet where you have student score, and then if you are asking the to write a Python code where it will calculate the average grade for each subject. So it has written the code in such a way that where the code will automatically calculate the average grade, and it is going to provide it to all of you. Okay, so in the same way, I can be able to go ahead and can again say write a Python code where it should be able to go ahead and analyze the customer transaction data and see if there are any suspicious activity for fraud detection. Okay, so let's say I'll say here, okay, let's run this. If you wish, you can run this also. See, it is able to go ahead. There is an option to run. So where it will run the code, whatever the code you have written, right? You have the capability. What I'm trying to say is when the code is being written to you, you can always be able to go ahead and see that you can run. But why it is saying that error? Because you don't have any CSV file. It is taking some sample file over here. If you see, right? In this scenario, it is taking some sample file on its own. But here student score.csv, but we did not add any file, right? That is the reason. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here, I'll close this and I will say write a Python code. Now no script. Okay, write a Python code that analyzes, where it should be able to go ahead and analyze the customer transaction data. Okay. So you should be saying that write a Python code which will analyze your customer transaction data, and it should flag if there are any suspicious activity which is been happening. Okay. For all your fraud detection in banking. Okay. So I'm saying that, hey, I really want to go ahead and say write a Python code where it should be able to analyze all the customer transaction data and flag me if there are any suspicious activity for fraud detection in banking. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. It started again creating the code for me. Okay, so see high value threshold, it only kept it. Now, if you want, you can see limit the threshold. Like you can put 1 crore. If somebody is doing 1 crore transactions, that to 5 times, that means it will alert you automatically. See, everything has been written in such a way that where you will automatically be able to see what is happening over here. It itself is able to go ahead and generate the error. Because why it is generating error, if you observe very carefully when you run it. Okay, I don't know how many of you would have got it, but this is not a IDE. When you run Python, right, where will you run it? In the PyCharm, in Anaconda, or in your Visual Studio Code where your Panda is installed, or where your Python is already installed. So whenever you run, it is not going to run successfully over here, because this is not an IDE. You need a Python installed, you need whatever, like you are importing here, everything should be installed, then it will work for you appropriately. Okay, but it is only a platform where you will see the code being created. What many people will think, anyhow code is there, I see there is a run option, I will run it from here only. No, it is only going to give you the code, and the code is whatever is being provided here is like template for you. It's not like this is the only code, I will take it and use it. No, this is a code which is being created by the respective, let me say, the chat GPT. But what it is trying to let you all know here is, this is the code which is given to you. But now later, if you really want to rephrase, or you want to modify something, or you want to add certain parameters on top of it, you are most welcome to do that. So you can be able to do all of those parameters, and can be able to play around with this in a much better manner. So this is the clarity which we all should basically be aware about. So that means I have given you here 2 to 3 scenarios. Like one, to analyze the customer transaction data and to flag any suspicious fraud is being present. And then another scenario here we discussed is to write a Python script where it can read a CSV file, and it can it can calculate the average of the student scores. Then we said we can calculate the average of how many columns are there in the, let me say, in the Excel sheet. That's a CSV file. So like this, you can see most of the things can be created on your own. Okay, most of the things can be created on your own like this, and you can play around with it. So this is how you have the capability to go ahead, create a Python script or a Python code. Now people will say, is it only supported for Python? The answer is no. I will say here, write a Java code. Okay, write a Java code to sum the two numbers. Okay. So for an example, let's go and see whether it can write the Java code or not. I mean, it has the capability or not. We will see. See, it started now. Immediately, it started moving towards the Java language. Okay, people who are aware about the Java, you know that, right? It has a system.out.println. Okay, and then it has a static void main, which is a main method, right? So you see that it immediately switched to Java. So I don't think that it is only meant for Python. You can use for Python, you can use for Java, you can use for C, C++, C sharp, any language you want. You can go ahead and put it in ChatGPT. It will go ahead and generate the code accordingly for you. So this is how you can be able to play around while generating the code. So this is the way in which you can be able to go ahead and can generate all your code, whatever is needed. So here is the prompt which is been available for all of you. Okay, so you can take the prompt and can be able to play around with it. Okay, so here only thing what you have to understand is write a script or write a code. The programming language is up to you. Either you go and use a Python code, or either you go ahead and use the Python script. That is up to you overall. Okay, but the choice is yours. Okay, so that's how you basically need to be able to go ahead and do it. So please complete it, everybody. I'm going to again give you 1 to 2 minutes of time. Complete this Python code. Okay, please complete off this Python, or not only Python, any programming language. Ultimately, what I want you to do in your ChatGPT tool here is to create a code. That code, it can be Python code, or that code, it can be Java, C, C++, whatever you are familiar or comfortable with. You can just ask your ChatGPT to go ahead and do. Then it will be able to help you out in generating the code like this. And just have a look into it. Then I am going to take you on to next pattern, that is CSV. Hope you all are done with this Python code, or maybe any of the code which you would have asked ChatGPT and then it would have been given you the response, right? Hope that you all are clear. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for confirming. So this is how you basically do the generation of the code. Okay. Any scenario you go ahead and ask your chat GPT, it is currently in a position at least to give you a template, like how it is going to basically work like. And then you can be able to take it further. Like that is how it's going to play as a very, very important role. Okay, so now what we are going to do, as we are done with generating the code, right? So next what we are going to do, the different type of output over here is the CSV file. Okay, CSV file is more about the Excel, like how we can create an Excel sheet directly. So for that, what I'm going to do here is I'll again open a new chat over here. You don't need to create any Excel. Go to Excel and then click on it and then try to do. You don't need those things here. So simply what we can be able to do over here is like just you can say generate a sample. I'll say here, please generate a sample CSV file structure. Okay, you can say generate a sample CSV file structure for storing the uh, like let's say for storing the product. Okay, product, what product inventory we can say for storing the product inventory, and you can say including the product name. So please go ahead and give me the product name also. And I need price, and I need quantity, and I also need the category of the product. Okay, I just mentioned generate me a sample CSV file with with a structure for storing the product inventory, including the product name, the price, quantity, and then the category. Okay, so let's go and then try to run this and let's check it out how things are going to work like. Okay, see. Now, would you like me to generate this as an actual CSV file for you to download? I will say yes, I need it. Okay. So now let's see, it's analyzing. At the back end, it is analyzing the data, and it should be able to go ahead and give me an option for me to download. Here, see, file got created. You see that the file got created. Let me download this file from my end. Okay, let me try to download. See, my download of the file is done. Let's try to open this and see here. It created me the product ID. It created me the product name. It has given me the sample price, sample quantity, and then the category. Okay, I did not create anything. Not even a single thing I have done. Even Excel also is being created by my chat GPT only. So what I did here, I just simply said that only one simple prompt I said, hey, generate me a sample CSV file structure for storing the product inventory, product name, price, quantity, and category. It gave me some sample. If you really have that value, that also you can pass it here. But I don't have anything, so that is the reason I said a sample CSV file is needed for me, and it was able to go ahead and create the same over here. Okay, in the same way, now what I will do here, let's say for like again, I am going to take a same prompt. Okay, I'll copy this over here. So let's go ahead and put it over here in this case. Now, what I am going to do here is let it be generate a sample CSV file. Okay, structure for storing instead of product details. Now I will say for storing the teacher schedules. Okay, I want a sample CSV file structure where it can be able to store the teacher schedules, and then including what all you want to include there. You want to include the teacher name, you can include the subject, and then you can include the class timings. Okay, and then what else? And assigned classrooms, we can say. Okay, so let's see what it is going to do now. Let's run this. See, it is now creating some sample data, some sample data. Okay, if you observe over here very clearly. Okay, so it's just going and create it. Yeah, here. It has created it. So let's go and download the file from here. So the moment you see that the file is downloaded, that is your teacher schedule here. Okay, now it will load. It's a product inventory. See, just sample teacher name. What is the subject? Okay, it was able to pick up the class time and then they assigned a classroom for you. Okay. So I've not done anything. It was able to go ahead, generate a CSV file for me, and you can be able to see that all the details of the teachers, you can replace it with your teacher name. You can replace your subject over here. You can have your class timings, and you can have your assigned classroom. But if this data is already there, so you can ask even your chat GPT to go ahead and provide that data. It will create the CSV accordingly for you. CSV means, do not get confused. It is nothing but your column separated value, which is your Excel sheet. Whatever Excels you are trying to create is nothing but your CSV file. So right now you see that we were able to go ahead and create successfully two CSV files where it was able to go ahead and give us the results in this way. Okay, if you observe over here, I was able to create a product inventory, and then at the same time, I was also able to go ahead and create a teacher schedule. Okay, so both of them just with one single prompt, I was able to go ahead and create it from my end. So now I'm again going to let you all say that you can also be able to go ahead and generate a CSV file on your own. So please go ahead, create a CSV file on your own by taking any one scenario which is easier or which is important for you and can be able to plan it out. Or otherwise, take the sample, whatever I'm trying to show. It's up to you. Either you take my example or otherwise you take your own example and can be able to create it. So I'm going to quickly give every one of you 2 minutes of time. Please complete and do let me know, everybody. Okay, hope you all are done with this. Like where you were all able to generate your CSV files. So this is how you can be responsible to go ahead and can be able to plan and can create your own CSV files. And you see that the file is automatically being created. Okay, so this is how you can always be able to be responsible to go ahead and create your own file. Okay, now XML, YAML, UML, whatever you see here. Okay, so let me just go to this whiteboard. Okay, whatever you see here, right? The XML, YAML, and UML. These are not something which we use very frequently. Okay, whatever XML, YAML, and UML are there, right? Those are more like what do we call this as? Like this is something like where you will use at the back end of the code. Okay, I will show you for sure, but you don't need to practice these three things because this is not something which we use very frequently. Whatever we can use very frequently, I took some time and I've given you time also to practice it. But wherever you think that its usage is very limited, I'll just show you, just have a look into it, but you don't need to practice that because its usage in real life is going to be very, very limited. So what I'm going to do right now, let's go with XML. I'll create a new chat and here I will say provide a XML. Okay, I will say here provide a XML format for managing a school or a, let me say, instead of saying a school, XML format for managing a engineering timetable. Okay, with I would say here with elements like what all you needed with elements for class. Okay, and then we can say here professor, and then you can say here subject, and then you can also be able to put the time slots. Okay, now this should be able to create, it will create everything in an XML format. Okay, see, this is, I mean, this is how the code will look like. You remember, I mean, I don't know how many of you are aware of, but at the back end, if you create a code like this, it will create a very nice UI for you at the front end. So this is your XML, which will be very much helpful for you when you build anything. Okay, so see timetable, day name Monday, slot, what is the time, class year, computer science third year, subject, you have to data structures, professor, you just change the name of the professor over here, whosoever it is. And then again time, mechanical engineering, thermodynamics, and then here, as we kept the engineering as the subject. So this is how XML would be created. Okay, this is how ideally the XML is going to create where you can be able to go ahead and can play around with it. This will be present in the backend whenever you're going to do the development. That is the reason it's not very frequently used. But if you are interested in any development or you want to create a very small application on your own, then yes. Okay, XML format is going to be very much helpful for us in that scenario. Okay, then what next? So the next thing is once you are aware about the XML format, then you have something called as the YAML, YAML. Okay. So this is your XML which we completed. Now you have YAML, which is meant for the configurations. Like what I will do here, I can say in this case, generate a YAML. Okay, generate a YAML configuration file. Okay, for an online exam. Okay, you can generate this for an online exam system. Okay, so including what, like including the settings for time. Okay, where I would put the time limit. Okay, and then I will say how many attempts are allowed. So I will say maximum allowed attempts. Okay, so I will say here allowed attempts and then the grading criteria. So you know you will write multiple examinations, right? In the examination, it will say your timeout because your time limit is exhausted. That means they'll give you 60 minutes. That all of them are been done by the YAML configuration file. Ideally, developers do this where they create a configuration file. I'm putting your case study because you'll understand in a better manner. Okay, whenever you have gone for any online examination, first it will have the time limit that within this time only you have to complete it. How many attempts are being given? Only one or two, whatever is needed, and then the grading criteria. So now let's create that YAML configuration file here. See. Okay, now if you observe in this scenario, right, exam name, advanced computer science, exam ID. Okay, time limit given is only 90. Whatever time limit you give here, accordingly, based on the time limit only, it will work. You are being only given 2 attempts. Pass percentage is 50. Keep shuffling the questions so that nobody will get the same questions who are sitting aside. Okay, so you can play around with this start date, end date, time zone. Okay, and then grading. See the grading. If the scoring method is percentage. Okay, question weightage is equal. Late, if somebody is giving for late, then it will be 10. Negative marking, yes, it is there. Penalty for every wrong answer is 0.25. Okay, and then question bank. Total questions are 50. Questions per attempt is 40. Question types are multiple choice, true or false, short answer, coding. Okay, now security. Proctor will be enabled whenever you write the exam. Proctor is enabled. See, when you write an exam, right at the back end, this is how the config file will be there. That is when your code will understand. Ah, okay, I have to work as per the whatever configuration is written. This is your YAML configuration. This is ideally written by developers. Now ChatGPT itself is writing everything and giving us to us. See, enable proctoring true. Webcam required. Yes. Otherwise, it will not allow you. IP restriction enabled false. No restriction on IP. It is compatible to Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. Okay, if you have any problem, contact email, contact phone, FAQ link. See, everything is very, very clearly being written here. Okay, so this is what is a config file. Okay, when you write an examination, somewhere or the other, you would have seen all of these scenarios coming up. How your online examination is understanding all of these patterns or all of these ways, because at the back end there is a YAML file written. YAML, YAML, which is a configuration file, which is written at the back end, where whatever you mention inside that, it is going to behave accordingly. Now, some examination time limit may not be 90 minutes, it may be only 1 hour. Then here you will change it to 60. That means it is giving you all the template, whatever is needed. Then accordingly, you will customize this. You don't need to do everything from the scratch. Time zone. In our India, we don't use UTC. We go with IST. You can mention the time zone to be IST. Now, some examinations where you want to write, I mean, where you want to like write or where you want to allow somebody to participate in your examination, penalty per wrong 0.25. If you don't want penalties, you can say 0 here. I mean, this is like a standard template which GPT is giving you, Chat GPT. Rest is up to you. How you want to go ahead and utilize it is your call. That's it. Okay, so we don't need anything else apart from it. So this is the clarity which you all should basically be aware about, where you can be able to play around. This is your online exam like configuration, which I was able to take it up because you can little bit correlate it in a much better manner. That's it. Okay, so this is how we should be able to know that how we can be able to play around with this. Okay, so this is the most important point which every one of you should actually be able to consider. Okay, hope that this makes sense to all of you. So now what I'm going to do next over here is, this is the YAML pattern, which is your configuration and the deployment. Okay, now what we will be doing here is, like if you observed in this case, we also have completed the YAML. Okay, these are all like a configuration file. Okay, and then you also have something called as the UML. Okay, UML again is like that is also like a more like a configuration only. So let me go ahead and show it to all of you that how you can create a UML. So I will say here in this case, create a UML diagram. Okay, I will say here create a UML diagram for whom? For a student management system. Okay, including what you want to include here, including the classes for students. Okay, and then your teachers, and then you can have your courses, and then you can have your grades. Okay, so we will go ahead and run this. Even when you go ahead and run it, right, it should be able to create a UML diagram. Okay, so UML is nothing but as per the code, whatever you want to go ahead and run, it will be able to define everything in a particular order so that you can handle it in a much better manner. Okay, so it's going and rendering whatever you actually want. See, the diagram is created. Let's download this UML diagram. Okay, so What happened to this? Is it downloaded? Okay, see now it is saying file not found. So I will say to my GPT that as a conversation, it's a conversational, right? Yesterday we learned it. So I am not able to download, you can say I'm not able to download the file, and it says, okay, and it says that the file is not found. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. It looks like the link might have expired. I will again regenerate the UML diagram and provide a fresh download link for you. Okay, let's see whether it is really going to create it or not. That is the reason you always have to understand. It's not every time your ChatGPT is a perfect LLM or a perfect model that where every time it will go ahead and create everything in a better way for you. So you have to be very much cautious. At times it may work, at times it may not work. We may not sure, we may not be very clear about it. See, again, it says file is not found. Okay, so let me reload this once and check it out. If still it is not working, that means, see, it has not supported for us in UML. It has supported for all the different types of outputs, but right now when we are able to go ahead and download it, okay, it is not encouraging us that you can be able to see. But whatever analysis it has done, it has been able to go ahead and give it to you in this case. Okay, so it segregated everything. Like when you say, okay, course and grade, it is taking student ID, name, email, date of birth. Okay, then it is taking teacher ID, name, email, subject specialization. Okay, and it is adding to teacher, okay, and as well as to course. And then attributes like course ID, course name. So it is taking lot of different parameters and it is creating a small diagrams like this. When you say student underneath the student, it will have student ID, name, email, date of birth. When you say teacher, these are your UML diagram. But once you download it, you will be able to see like this. Okay, you have a teacher ID, name, email, subject specialization for the teacher, and we will assign the course to the teacher based on the subject specialization. Then you have the course ID, course name, course credit. Here you are going to add the student into the respective course. Then you have a grade ID, score, grade letter, and where we will be assigning the grade to the students. So like this, UML means it is going to structure everything in one single place and you can be able to utilize it in a much better manner. That is the significance of it. So UML here is nothing but you are being given a chance like where you can group a lot of things and can be able to accumulate and can put it in a particular place so that we can be able to use it in a more effective manner. That is actually the significance of it. Okay, where you have a very good capability, like a lot of data is being present, so you can use that particular data, group them into one single unit and can be able to utilize it whenever you want it. That is your UML. These are also not very frequently used, but yes, whenever if a scenario comes up, at least you should be knowing that yes, I can be able to go ahead and create even the configuration files. These three are configuration files which we completed it. XML, YAML, and UML. We completed all three of these things. Now we will see how to generate the images. Okay, because that is also one of the type of output which you can be able to create. Okay, so basically, like again, your chat GPT also has the capability to generate the photos or images, whatever you want. Okay, so let's go to the chat GPT tool and open a new chat again because image is again different from what I was creating till now. So I don't want to have the same context setup. So what I am going to do over here is like quickly, we can be able to go ahead and can handle it in a more better and in an appropriate manner if I would be able to say. So if you see in this scenario, okay, so what's going to happen? For an example, I want to generate the image. Now, how can I generate the image? It's all about your imagination or a thought process. However is your imagination or however is your thought process, right? Accordingly, you can be able to generate the image from your chat GPT. Like for an example, I will say um, create, okay, I could just be able to go ahead and say create a Gen AI or create a generative AI image. Okay. So I could say here, create a generative AI image of a Charminar. Okay. With heavy rain. I'm just imagining whatever I want. I'm just trying to put it up over there. Okay. Create a generative AI image of a Charminar with a heavy rain, and people are moving here and there. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. Let's observe. Okay, I said create me a generative AI image of a Charminar. So first we will observe whether it will really create Charminar or something else. And within the Charminar, there should be a heavy rain, and then people should be moving here and there because of the rain. Okay, let's see. That is my just my imagination. Okay, my chat GPT is going and it is trying to create some image. Let's see whether if it is going to work as per what we have given or not. See, observe over here. Okay, if you can just see its capability, that it has been able to go ahead, create a Charminar for you. Like actually the buildings which are beside the CC, there would be a lot of old buildings. I mean, people who have visited Hyderabad, right? You would have seen this. And then see here, it took rain into consideration. It was able to consider the rain here. Okay, and then see auto vehicles, people are moving here and there with umbrellas. Okay, they're running around. I mean, so beautifully captured. And it was just with one prompt, it was able to go ahead and can create such a wonderful image for all of us. Okay, just with one prompt where I was able to go ahead and run it, it was able to go ahead and create an image altogether in a way which is way more realistic, if I would be able to say to all of you. Okay, so such a nice capture, it was able to go ahead and do it. But I will say you one good thing is that you can create really some great and wonderful images. But when you practice it, you cannot do that. You know why? Because ChatGPT paid version only will be having the capability to create the images in a better manner. Okay. So you have to pay in order for you to generate the images. But I would say I don't want you to go ahead and pay until if you are interested. Otherwise, don't pay. That is okay, even if you don't pay it also. So what I am going to do right now is, but I will say you see, I am creating images. That means I am not giving you the chance to create the image. Only reason is because we are all using free version. I was doing this in my paid version. Okay. So that is the reason it got created for me. But otherwise, if you are interested to create the image, like you want to practice or you want to implement it, there is a way for us. Okay, there is a way which we can explore and can be able to utilize it. Like what is that way? I'm going to let you all know here. So the way here which we all should be able to utilize or explore in this case is you can use Microsoft Copilot in that case. Okay. So yeah, you can create annotated images using DALI, Priyanka, correct. Okay. So basically what happens here is now we will go and use the Microsoft Copilot, because Microsoft Copilot will give you for free. You can be able to go ahead and can create the images without any constraints. Okay, so what is going to happen in this case is like when you go ahead and use like Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, that is for free. Freely you can create as many images as you want. Nobody is going to stop you there. But in Chat GPT, you have to pay. For like if you really want to do for free and you want to practice and you want to create as many images as you want, then I would say to all of you that you can go to your Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. Okay. So let's go to the copilot.microsoft.com. Okay. So copilot.microsoft.com. Basically, that is going to be your link. Okay. So you just need to log in. Okay. So let me first log in. I'll stop sharing my screen once. Okay. But you can also meanwhile log in once. Okay. Because I'm going to get the security code. I'll just quickly add my security code and first I'll try to log in. It's been a long time. So it's asking that, hey, just provide your security code and then you can log into it. I would say yes. Just I'll try to provide my login. So I'm going to quickly sign in from my end. And I will also share the link to all of you. Okay. so that you all can also be able to directly open it. Okay, my Microsoft Copilot is ready. So let me share my screen to all of you. And in the chat, I will put it up to all of you, the link. Okay. So here is the link which is provided to all of you, the copilot.microsoft.com. Okay, so this is, I mean, the moment you log into your Microsoft Copilot, right? This is how you will see the UI will look like. Okay, now what I will do, let me try to take the same prompt. Okay, from the chat GPT where I used create a generative AI image of a Charminar with a heavy rain and people are moving here and there. Okay, so let's say I will also try to add it over here and click on enter. Okay, now this is also going and creating an image for me. Let's see how well Microsoft Copilot can give us, because it's free of cost. I don't need to pay anything over here. And I would also request every one of you who is interested to create any images. And if you don't want to pay, right, then you can be able to utilize the Microsoft Copilot. See, good enough, right? If you see here, it's really good enough. Even though it's free, but still it was so nice. If you see here, it was again able to capture the Charminar, first of all, in a very great way, and then the old buildings beside it, and then you see people are moving here and there with their umbrellas scattered. Awesome, right? Just, I mean, you don't need to pay anything, and still you're getting a great image, and you can also be able to download it. There is an option for you to go ahead, download, and can be able to save it if you wish to. Okay, so that is how you can be able to go ahead, create all your images, whatever you basically want, and can be able to highlight it in a better manner, I would say. Okay, I will say now create, or otherwise you don't need to say create, I'll say generative AI image, okay, of a futuristic city. Okay, I will say here generative image of a futuristic city. I'll just put something random. Okay, with the flying cars. Let's see how far it can be able to go ahead. With the flying cars, that's it. With the flying cars only we'll put it. Let's see how it is going to. Okay, generative AI image of a futuristic city with the flying cars. Let's see what it can really be capable to go ahead and do it for this. See. Okay, if you see so nicely, it was able to go ahead and create. This is a futuristic city, and there you see at the top there is a flying cars going. Okay, so if you see so nicely, it is able to go ahead and create it in really great way. Okay, so many people will try to go ahead and like they'll say create. I'll say you see what they will do. Create me an image for the Sachin. Okay, I'll say why I'm doing this. Okay, for Sachin Tendulkar. Okay, let's see. Okay, you see, sorry, I couldn't generate that image. So basically, what happens is, like when you put some eminent personality pictures and when you try to like create them, right? It will not allow you to do that because again, the privacy of the people is going to be lost. So that is the reason most of the times they would try to ignore creating the famous personalities pictures or images so that their privacy they don't want to compromise at any point of time because no one knows how they are going to utilize that picture in what way. So that way we'll learn in responsible AI or ethical AI. So that is the reason when you want to create an image, right? I mean, especially for most of the eminent or famous personalities, you'll not see that the image is going to be created. So that is the overall clarity we all have to be able to maintain it, if I would be able to say. Okay. So that's one of the clarity which I just want to make sure that you all should basically be aware about. Okay, so yeah, and then I mean you can create whatever you want. That is up to you. Now I'm going to give you around 2 to 3 minutes of time. Okay, for you, you cannot do it in Chat GPT. So that is the reason I've given you the link of copilot.microsoft.com over the chat. Open the copilot.microsoft.com and start creating. Okay, you can be able to go ahead, start creating the images based on whatever you have in your mind. I created Charminar with a heavy rain. I created the futuristic city with the flying cars. Okay, in the same way, if you have any thoughts in your mind, you can also be able to go ahead and can create it in your own way. Okay, or otherwise, I can say what else? Generative AI image. Okay, I'll say generative AI image of an advanced robotic. Okay, I can say advanced robotic car. Okay, manufacturing plant. Let's see what it is going to do. I'm making it more complex so that whether it can still can be able to do it or not. Generative AI image of an advanced robotic car manufacturing plant. Let's see what this is going to be captured over here. Okay, how it can be able to go ahead and can handle it in a better manner. Let's just have a, oh wow, man, so nice. Okay, if you see here, I mean, it's going with such a precision or such a proper pattern that you see what you're asking, at least it's trying to cover all of them. I said generative AI image for an advanced robotic car manufacturing plant. See, it is able to go and give me the manufacturing plant where all the robots are only trying to work on that car rather than being any human beings being involved over there. Okay, so that's how you can use your Copilot without even paying a single rupee and can be able to play around with it in a much better manner. So please go ahead, do this activity, everybody. I'll give you around 2 to 3 minutes of time. So with this, we are also done with creating the photos. Okay, photo or image or like a photo image, whatever you want to call it as. Okay, but we are also done with this. Okay, so this is another thing which we were being able to go ahead and complete right now. Okay, so please complete this, everybody. The type of output which we have created right now is all about the image, like how we can be able to create the image is what we were being able to discuss, that too for free of cost using what tool? Microsoft Copilot. Just you have to log in with your Gmail account. Even for Microsoft Copilot also, it's the same thing where you just need to utilize your Gmail account and can be able to move ahead. Nothing more you have to do over there. So please complete this, everybody. Please go ahead, complete this one, everyone. Please try to create your own images. You can please try to create your own images, and if you wish, okay, and if you wish, you can be able to go ahead and like download that image, whatever you have created. If you really like that image, you can download it. Previously, what used to happen to create like this, right? We used to go to posters. We used to ask people to create the posters, and then those posters were being created. We used to take those posters, download it, and then like have it present in our rooms. Right now, what you can do, you create whatever is your imagination, download it, and just print it in a proper paper and then paste it wherever you want it in your room, or maybe you want to put it at your house. You can do it in such a way. Also, you can be able to create your own images and can be able to play around with it in a more effective manner. Okay, so please try to go ahead and complete this activity, like where you all can be able to generate the images. Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, complete of this part quickly. Then I'm going to show you the last one, which is color palette. That how you can be able to generate the color palette, which is the last one which is present. And with that, we will be able to complete with the types of outputs. Okay. Try it out, Vijay Lakshmi. What happens is, if you really want to merge the images, try it out. See, say, uh, okay, let me say, merge the above images. Okay, I will say, merge the above images. Let's see what it is going to do. See, it sounds like you have a creative vision in mind. Unfortunately, I am not able to merge the images together. However, I can continue creating individual images based on your prompt, but I cannot be able to merge it. Okay, let's do it in ChatGPT. It's a free version, right? So probably may not be able to. Okay, I will say here, okay, create a futuristic city. Okay, I would say in this case, create me a futuristic city. Let's say what it is going to do. Okay, it's creating some image. Let's first create it. And then I will ask both to be merged, and we will see whether it will be, even in Copilot, we got to know that it cannot be done. Let's see. Okay, this is the futuristic city which ChatGPT created it. Okay, this is the futuristic city which is for paid version. Okay, but you see that it is being like created in a great manner over here. So now what I'm going to do is, please merge the above images. Okay, I would say in this scenario that please merge the above images. Let's see what it is going to do for us. Okay, see what it did, it merged. Okay, see, there is a Charminar, there is a futuristic city, and then you see at the top. That means your chat GPT here has the capability to merge it. Whereas your Copilot does not have the capability, because Copilot is totally free. Merging, that is the reason it said, you see, in the Copilot, when I was asking it, it very clearly said, hey, you have a creative vision in mind, but I unfortunately will not support you. But here we merged it, and see, it got merged in a better manner. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. Cool. Yeah, even if you don't have subscription, don't worry, Ashwini. I said you right. You have to go to your Microsoft Copilot. People are all doing like that only. In the Microsoft Copilot, I have already shared this link in the chat. You can go to copilot.microsoft.com. You can log into your Gmail account here and then start creating the images, because Microsoft Copilot is free of cost. Anybody can go ahead and can create the images whatever they wanted. Nobody will be asked even a single rupee here to create the image. In ChatGPT, yes, you need a subscription, but in the Copilot, you don't need any subscription. Just log into the copilot.microsoft.com, run whatever the prompt you want. You can be able to generate or create whatever images you wanted. Okay, so that is the plan which we should be able to consider. Hope that is clear to you, Ashwini. Ashwini done, Vijay Lakshmi done. Exactly, Snigdha. I totally agree with your point. Yes, that's right. It's a 5 days, Just Raj. Today being the third day, and still 2 more days are pending after this class is completed. Okay, I see that I have answered all the questions, the people who have it. So hope you all have completed it. Everybody, can we proceed to the last type of output which is pending from the chat GPT, that is color palette? Okay, I'm assuming that you all were able to go ahead and complete it successfully. Awesome. Great. Good job. Keep it up, everyone. See, the people who are facing issue, right? Do not worry. Even if you don't have a subscription, right? So for that, you should be able to go ahead and implement it in Copilot. No, PowerPoint is not a picture. You can try PowerPoint for sure, Richa. But for that, you have to use a separate tool. Okay? You can have a separate tool. Like otherwise, I'll show you here. See, in the chat GPT, right? Like let me open a new chat again here. Okay. So slide GPT, SLIDE, slide GPT, you can use it. Okay. So I'll say create a PPT uh, for the computer basics. Okay. Let's see what it is going to do. So it's giving you, first of all, the topics like introduction to computer, components of a computer. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. It's just writing, analyzing the Python code and writing it at the back end, the script, and it will be able to go ahead and will help us out. Let's see. It's just creating everything at the back end. So let's go. Click on the file. Okay, the file got downloaded. Let's go. Okay, let's try to open this. Okay, see. Computer basics. What's a computer? What components of a computer? Types of computers, hardware versus software, operating, all these things. It's able to go ahead and create the content, but the PPT is very, very, very basic. Okay, but what you can do here, let me say, for an example, I can use here slide GPT. Okay, this is your slidesgpt.com. Okay, where you can create your slides. Okay, just you have to log in through your account, and then you can also be able to ask whatever you want. It will also be able to create the presentation for you. Okay. Even your GPT also has created, but it's a very basic. But in the slide GPT, it will be better. Little picture and all, everything will come up. Okay, or otherwise, you can also be able to see, okay, if you are not aware of anything, you can say PPT GenAI. Okay. So it will also give you, but sometimes it will ask you to pay. That's the only problem. Otherwise, it is good. Okay. You have to pay and then utilize it. So you have to be a little bit careful in that matter. Okay. Hope that it is clear for you. Okay. Great. So now what next? So the next thing here to be discussed in this scenario is like, as I mentioned, it is your color palette, which is pending. That's the last type of the output, which we can be able to generate. So how we can be able to work on it? So for the color palette, you can again open a new chat here. Okay. And then can say, suggest, okay, you can say here, in this scenario, say suggest a color palette. Okay. Yeah, suggest color palette website. Okay, we'll say e-learning website. Suggest a color palette for an e-learning website. Okay, for people to read it. Okay, and people for the engagement and accessibility for students. Okay, I'll say create a color palette which can be psychologically very engaging for an e-learning website where everybody would be focused on readability, engagement, and accessibility for the students so that they can be able to utilize it in a more effective and in a better manner. That's how you can be able to create a color palette in a much, much better manner. Okay. So let's go and then try to utilize this. See, for an e-learning website, if you really want to go and make it more engaging, it is giving you psychologically the suggestions. Hey, the primary color which you need to use here is the deep blue, because deep blue is meant for trust, stability, and professionalism. Then you can use teal green, which is looks very fresh, modern, and associated with learning and growth. Then secondary colors for engagement or for any highlight, you can use bright orange or golden yellow. And then you can use your background or text colors, which can be easy for you to read and access any information like gray color, white color, dark gray, blue color. All of these things can be implemented. Okay, so what I'm trying to let you all know is if you're not aware of anything, your ChatGPT is there with you. Like what I'm trying to do, color palette means what? When you see KFC, which is very red in color, which indicates their spiciness, and it also tries to attract everywhere the KFC with a red background and with a white color written KFC. So it is has a lot of psychological significance to it, where they pay a lot of money to get those color combinations. But right now, if you don't have enough money, if you don't have an expert, you have ChatGPT with you, where you can ask ChatGPT to suggest the color palette for you for all your e-learning website, where you can focus on all your readability, engagement, and then accessibility for students. This is the example I've taken. Now you want to create your own website, and then if you really want to get to know know the color palette for the same, you can ask your chat GPT that what could be the color palette. It will be able to go ahead and give you the relevant color palette where you can use it for all the relevant purposes which is required for you. So that is how you can play around with your color palette and can handle it in a much effective manner. So this is the clarity which we all should basically be aware about. Okay, hope that this makes sense. So this is the last type of an output which we were being able to see. So we have covered all different types of outputs which are present in chat GPT. Okay, so this is again a color palette where this is also not very frequently used. That is the reason I'm just giving you an idea, because whenever you develop an application or whenever you want to create a logo, when somebody asks you to create a logo, so when you want to create a logo, right, then color combinations are very important. In that case also, you can use your color palette and can use a better colors where users should feel very happy by seeing whatever you have created. For that, colors play a very important role. So for that only, color palette is going to play here as a very important consideration. So that is also something which your chat GPT can be able to give you as a response. Okay, so with this, we are done with all the types of outputs which your chat GPT can basically be able to provide. Okay, so I hope that you all have got a very good chance to go ahead, practice all of these things from your end. Okay, so that's about your chat GPT demo. And we were able to see a good amount of results in the form of types of output where you were all able to also practice along with me, and were able to complete this in a better manner. So this is very important, because right now you know what are the different types of outputs which basically your chat GPT can be able to provide it. Okay, so that is one of the great thing which you all were being able to get it. Okay. Quality content. See, for quality content, I would say you actually need a paid version. See, what happens, I'll say you, there are only two ways. So what they do it is, ideally it is a business. We all have to understand that thing. It's a business at the end of the day. Okay, so what they do ideally, see, any paid version, their accuracy of the content, okay, accuracy of the paid version content is, okay, greater than 90%. Whereas if you are using a free version, okay, their accuracy again with the quality, okay, so accuracy of their content is basically greater than only 70%. I mean, only 70% only. That is the reason you may see sometimes in the free version they may not be able to give you, and they also want you to promote to go to paid version because they will get money, you will get the quality. As of today, that is how it is basically. Okay. Yeah, you can also be able to do that, all of these things. Yes. Hey, thank you, Karim. Can share the mail ID, but okay. So in this case, this is how you can be able to play around with this. And finally, okay, you see that what did we see? What is Chat GPT ultimately? Chat GPT is ultimately your generative AI application. Okay, it's ultimately your generative AI application it is. Okay, so it's basically your Gen AI application developed by OpenAI, and your chat GPT is being trained with the billions of documents. That is the reason it is able to go ahead and give you the responses so clearly and appropriately. Today, it is all able to give you the responses. When we were seeing the types of output, there were so many different types of output which we were being able to get as a response. Now, how all of that were being possible? Because your GPT is being trained with a lots of data. When your GPT is being trained with a lots of data, like a billions of documents, obviously the responses which it is going to provide will also be in a better manner. Okay, so that's the point which you all should basically be aware about. Okay, so this is the core point which everybody of you should be able to understand it. And then you see that you have here GPT. What is the full form of the GPT? Chat is fine, because chat is nothing but you are chatting. It's a conversation, right? How you chat in the WhatsApp and all. Somebody pings you, you respond, and that person pings again, you respond. That's a chat. That is the reason it's called chat. But what is GPT? GPT means generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, it's here if you see, right? It is your generative pre-trained transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer means what? It indicates very clearly that if you observe here, okay, generative pre-trained transformer here is nothing but generative. What is the purpose of generative? It is always creating whatever you want. The type of output which you see, right? It was able to create you a scorecard. It was able to go and create you table. It was able to go ahead and create you images, photos. How it is able to do? Because of the generative capability. That is the reason it is called G, generative. What is P? Pre-trained. P means it's a pre-trained. Pre-trained means obviously it's been trained with a lot of data. As it is being trained with a lot of data, your ChatGPT model, that is the reason whenever I'm asking anything, or whenever you were asking when we were doing today the entire hands-on activity, right? It was always able to go ahead and give us the responses. Okay. P means it's a pre-trained. Pre-trained is very clearly saying that whenever you are able to go ahead and ask any question or anything with regards to it, it was able to go ahead and give you all the relevant responses, whatever you want. That is how it is been pre-trained, if I would be able to let you all know over here. Okay. So that's one of the important point which I could just be able to go ahead and let you all know here. So that's one of the significance of using the pre-trained mechanism, where everything in this scenario is being fully pre-trained and can be able to handle it in a more effective manner. That is how you can use your pre-trained, and then you have ultimately the transformer. Okay. Transformer means what? You remember it's a neural network here, this one. Okay, yesterday we discussed, right? This one. This neural network, which is there in the GPT, chat GPT backend. You are asking question. Today, whenever we were asking question, right? That question was going through different layers in chat GPT, and then it is giving us the output. And this is what we call transformer. Okay, instead of calling neural network in chat GPT, this is called as transformer. So transformer is a very key thing. Because of this transformer only, all the data from the input layer is going to the hidden layer, and in the hidden layer the data is getting processed, and then finally it is able to go ahead and give you the output. That is the significance of the transformer. So wherever you are going to leverage this transformer, right, the very purpose of the transformer here is to make sure that whatever the data which is coming into the input layer is actually going through multiple layers which are present, and within those layers the data is getting processed and finally giving you the output. This is the transformer. That is the reason it is called chat GPT. GPT means generative, which is generating whatever you are asking. It is pre-trained with a lot of data, and transformer is helping you out to process and give you a quality data. The quality is dependent on the transformer. Now, if you pay, they will give you more layers. If you are paying, then there will be more layers at the back end, where the processing of the data will be done in a much quality way. If you are in the free version, the layers will be less, so the quality of the data which you get will be little less when compared to paid version. It all depends on how many layers which you have in between to process your data. So this is the utmost clarity which everybody of you should be aware of. Okay. So I hope that you all have got an understanding. So tomorrow what we will be doing is the agenda for the tomorrow's sessions. Okay. So first we will understand what is LLM, large language model. Okay. It will take only some 5 to 10 minutes. And then we will go to prompt engineering. Okay. So then we will enter into prompt engineering. So tomorrow also it will be fully hands-on activity, because once I explain to you initially 10 to 15 minutes, initial 10-15 minutes, first I will make you understand what is LLM, what is prompt engineering, because without knowing that there is no point in doing the things, right? Initially 10 to 15 minutes or first 20 minutes, once it is completed, then our entire time we will be focusing on how to write the prompts so that you can get the best results. Okay, how you can write the prompts so that you can be able to get the best results out of the any of the tools like ChatGPT, if I could consider. And in this prompts, we will consider a lot of applications. Okay, in these prompts, we will be able to consider a lot of applications, and you will get to know a lot of different perspectives, and you will understand that how you can write the prompts in an effective manner so that all your prompt engineering can work in a better way. Okay, so this is another thing which we will be able to learn as part of our tomorrow's session. Okay, so with this, I end the session for today. Now I will utilize the remaining 5 minutes if there are any questions from anybody to pick it up so that I can assist you. If not, I will hand it over to Shushmita. Okay, so thank you once again, everybody, for your active participation. Okay, so great job again by listening and then practicing and then acknowledging over the chat to all of I mean again to me. And thank you so much for the people who have actually given a wonderful feedback. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your appreciation. And again, keep learning and keep doing like this. So tomorrow we'll continue with the remaining topics, whatever I have been mentioned for the agenda. Okay, let's see if there are any questions from anybody specifically. Both free and pay version is how to understand. Is the data set used to train? No, 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 it's not the same, Kirti. The data set which is being used is actually not the same. Okay, what happens is the amount of data which is being trained. So for the free version, right, the data with which it has been trained is very minimal. But whereas for the paid version, they train with every type of data in and around all the type of data so that every corner it can be able to go ahead and can find out the responses appropriately for you. So that is the clarity which we all have to understand it. Okay. That's the significance of it, Kirti. Okay. DeepSeek. Okay. Basically, DeepSeek has right now started becoming very popular, Teja. Okay. So you see that it is in the news right now a lot when we want to know about the DeepSeek and how it is performing, right? See, only thing is ChatGPT and your Gemini, right? What it is meant for ChatGPT, Gemini, or maybe Copilot, they are great in creating the content. They are great in conversations. But your DeepSeek is very much strong. Like if you want to play around with reasoning or any problem solving, DeepSeek is attaining really a great power right now, Teja. DeepSeek today is attaining a great power because it has very strong reasoning and problem solving capabilities when compared to existing LLMs like ChatGPT, Copilot, and all. So, due to that, DeepSeek is becoming very, very powerful, and it is also becoming very powerful even in the code generation. The code which it is generating is not even having single error. That is how DeepSeek is actually evolving. And again, it is not very user friendly like ChatGPT and all. It is just not as conversational as ChatGPT, how you can be able to utilize it. But yeah, to some extent only it is better, but otherwise it has a very strong reasoning and problem solving capability, I would say. Okay, and the top of that, it can generate the code for you. It can do very good problem solving and reasoning skill set. For that, DeepSeek is very important when you compare the same with other existing tools like ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini Teja. Yep, thank you. Yeah, exactly. It is both Vijay Lakshmi, correct. Uh, what else? What else? Tejashwini, you let me know this. We will go now. We entered into ChatGPT, right? So definitely, I will be able to take this into consideration. Okay. So just remind me tomorrow once, and I will make sure that this is being taken into consideration. Okay, that how we can be able to utilize it in the research perspective, so that you all can also be able to get benefit out of it. So tomorrow we'll cover that for sure. Okay. Hey, they have the RAG. They have the research augmented values. They have a RAG. They have Llama. Okay, and then they have the what we call this Palm. They have different models. Those models are being trained where it will understand the criteria to how to consider the data set. Data sets are created by the data scientists where they will send a proper amount of data, and then your model, which is your neural network or a transformer, which is being built on top of the Llama index. Okay, which is being built on the Llama index, right? You can be able to go ahead and can be able to like generate those respective data sets, whatever you want, and then those data sets will be processed by the transformer, and then your GPT can be able to give that as a result to end user. So now for the free version, they give the data set less. For the paid version, they give every corner of the data, billions of data with which it will be trained. Okay. So if you have any further extension, you can please continue so that we will be able to discuss that later. Okay, tomorrow also. Kusma, perfect, good to hear that. Thank you for letting me know. That's it, Sushmita. I think we covered all the questions and as well as the content. So
Yeah.
thank you once again, everyone, and over to you. Remaining questions, we'll take it up tomorrow. Okay, please, because as it is overtime, right? If anything is there, I'm anyhow answering it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and try to use it. Can we use those data sets? Who? No, you cannot use it. The organization which has been able to create it, they will only have those data sets. So you have to connect to OpenAI. They will be able to leverage those data sets to you. Okay. Regression, probability, all of those things we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. Monica, if you are interested, we will just see that little bit. Okay. I mean, not running it, but just to give you as an information. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much all for the wonderful feedback. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you,
Over to
sir.
you,
Thank you
Sushmita.
so much for your valuable class. So we'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you so much, sir. So yeah, dear faculty members, you are asking about the attendance of first day and second day. As I informed you all yesterday, we are not able to share the previous day attendance because attendance already it is like it is not active. You are not able to mark the previous class as attendance. So make sure that whenever I will share the attendance on the chat, you have to mark your attendance at the same time and the same day. Okay. And some are asking about the recordings. The recordings are visible like it is there on the LMS dashboard. I hope you all received the LMS access. There you will get them like recordings. From there you have to watch it. And some are asking like whether you can download that recording. You are not able to download that recording with that the same LMS dashboard. You have to watch the recordings. Okay. Yeah, so we are done for the day. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Thank you all.